All right. Time to watch some new anime. We got spring 2025. What do we got going on? What the fuck? Hey, what is up, my gaming legion and everybody else who is watching this video? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I am your host today, Gaming Legion. You can call me Legion. You can call me Jacob, whichever you prefer. And yes, I am not very happy right now. Not because of anything else. Not because of anything else. For the sole fact that I have tried to record this video now for 2 days, a total of 8 times, and I still cannot get this shit done. Mostly because of this new mic. And again, it's because I found a way to keep this thing from muting whenever I touch it. Except whenever I unplug this thing, it resets. I rolled over it once when I was already halfway through the video, and it cut out audio for the next a number of seconds. And then at one point when I went back to re-record it, I talked for another 20 minutes and forgot to hit the record button. I was so done. That was before I streamed today. I was so done. But I was checking over my last video that I did about the Switch 2 emulation, and I saw some nice comments on there, so I decided, you know what? I'm in a good mood now. I'm in a bit of a better mood. So let's try and re-record this video, and let's do it right. One of the other problems was that it was taking, like, too long to explain shit. I literally was, like, a third of the way through the video, and it was already at about an hour of recording. I'm like, okay, we're scrap this shit. So without further ado, anime spring 2025. This was a video I was initially going to make like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but unfortunately finals came up and I had to start getting ready for those, finishing up final projects. So I just said, fuck it, we'll wait on this. So we are about halfway through anime spring 2025, and now I can talk about these, and it's probably a little bit better because now I know what anime I haven't dropped and will not drop, and which ones I absolutely dropped. Honestly, if I made this video like 2-3 weeks ago, none of this would have changed. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the anime that I'm currently watching, some of the ones that I'm catching up on, some of the ones that I'm planning to watch, and which ones I dropped because holy fucking shit. Starting off with the ones that I am watching, all of them bangers except for one. All of them bangers except for one. And I am so very excited for all of them except for one. Starting off here, we're going to talk about a few that are just having new seasons coming out. They're not new anime, they're just new seasons. First up, Fire Force Season 3, baby. Oh my god, I'm so happy this is back. Fire Force Season 2 came out, if I remember correctly, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. So we have not seen this in a hot minute. It has been a while. So long, in fact, that last year, I decided let me rewatch Season 1 and 2 and then read the manga. So I have now finished the manga, and then I started Soul Eater, but I haven't actually finished that, so I should probably do that after this video. But Season 3 is here. I'm very excited. Spoilers, by the way, for Fire Force Season 3 and the entire show. And all the other stuff that we're going to be talking about today. Spoilers. Spoiler warning. Beep, beep, beep. But right now we are in the middle of the Evangelist starting to take over Tokyo. They're in the midst of that. They had Captain Burns end up going over to the Evangelist side. Holy fuck. You faithful motherfucker. He ended up dying to his doppelganger. That is also going to be something that they're going to be exploring probably in Season 3, if not more in Season 4. Along with the pillars and how all of those are connected. And let's be a little bit more, what are we doing right now? Captain Obi got captured and currently has a bunch of bugs on him. And if you've watched Fire Force, you know what bugs I'm talking about. And yes, Tamaki is still in the show. Just skip past it. It's a great series. Next up, Go Go Loser Ranger Season 2. This is Super Sentai, where the Power Rangers are essentially the bad guys. This one, when Season 1 first came out, I was not planning on actually watching this. It was not in the cards for me. But then I saw Super Sentai, and I'm like, okay, maybe. And then I saw that they were going to be the villains, and I said, oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Because especially back when this was coming out, I was already off the high of The Boys and Invincible Season 2, so I was very much looking for something pretty similar. First, you took superheroes and did that, and then you gave me Power Rangers, you gave me Super Sentai. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, general story is you have one of the invaders or one of the mob characters from the villain side who is trying to infiltrate the Dragon Keepers, or the Power Rangers, and trying to take them out from the inside. All of the invader mob bosses are just kind of thought of as, like, really weak. I mean, they can be taken out in pretty much one hit by anybody, but they are immortal, which is nice. So we're following Foot Soldier D, who has gone in. He has infiltrated the Dragon Keepers, and we're following his journey. This is another one. I've read the manga after I finished season 1, so I do know generally what's going on in the story and what's going to be coming up. But right now we have it as Foot Soldier D, still disguised as Sakura or Sakurama. One of the two, I forget. I'm so sorry I had to say Sakura in your ears. I apologize. And they just got through all the ranger tests and stuff, and now he is joining the Green Battalion. Yes, if you saw season 1 and are now getting spoiled, he joins the Green Battalion, not the Red Battalion. I know. They explain it. And the Green Battalion is all about figuring out the invader bosses, the 12 boss invaders, figuring out where they are, defeating them, all behind the scenes. So far in the story, they've defeated, I believe, either 5 or 7. I forget if they've defeated 5 or if there's 5 left. Can't remember. All you need to know is there's still some bitches out there. And right now they're going for the snake boss Magata, who has illusion, imaginary powers, who can kind of not exactly create his own world. Actually, he can create his own world. My apologies. He can create his own imaginary world as well as twist the minds of some of the people within it. So right now they're in a high school with a bunch of kids who have been spirited away, and that is kind of what they're going through right now, finding out where he is, how to beat Magata. Now, I apologize. I had to ear rape you by saying Sakura earlier. I know it's like devil spawn in your ear. So let me give you a better Sakura with Windbreaker Season 2. Yes, Windbreaker Season 2. This was one, again, when the first season came out, I was initially not planning on watching this. I didn't even know about it. But then I heard about the first episode and how this guy can fight. And not only can he fight, it's basically a Tokyo Revengers, but better, so it's a better Takamichi, and not even really Takamichi. I just wanted to say that it's a better Tokyo Revengers. I don't care. But guy in high school goes up, beating people up. He can actually fight. He's pretty cool. I like him. But the whole thing is about him joining this school called Furin or Bofurin. I'm just going to call it Furin, where they are known for fighting. They're known for fighting people. But what they really do is they help protect the town, whether that is fighting people like other hoodlums coming in, whether that's other high schools coming in as rivals to take over territory, or if it's just helping out the community. They forego regular classes and help out the community. That is the general what Furin does. And Sakura did not know that going in, but now he does, so now he's in it. So season 1 was kind of that like high school rivalry. They were going against another high school that had some bad blood between them, and they really showed off the fighting, which the fighting in this show is amazing. Very fluid, great choreography, beautifully animated. It's amazing. And then the second season sort of starts off the same way. One of Sakura's classmates, his friend, is in another high school, and they're beating the shit out of him. So Sakura takes his entire first year class with him to go beat up this other high school and get that guy's friend back. And then the second part that we are currently in, and I believe we're actually kind of exiting right now in the series, is a bit more slice of life. It's talking about Sakura and his relationships with some of the other characters, and you know how he's learning to like deal with that, because he's not good with relationships at first. He didn't really have friends or people around him like that, which is really nice. I really like it. The next anime up here is The Super Cube. This is a Chinese anime. Tariffs can't keep these bitches down. Yes, the Super Cube, or Super Cube, as some people just call it. We got Mr. Boyfriend, because I can't remember any names in this anime, who has Mrs. Girlfriend. And Mrs. Girlfriend has this guy who has been protecting her for seemingly years for some unknown reason. She doesn't know, we don't know. That's what we're waiting on. And the story revolves around Mr. Boyfriend, not the protector guy. And it's kind of all about him getting powers, Mr. Boyfriend getting powers through the Super Cube, where he can use microwaves to detect things around him. He can teleport. He has a hidden inventory to take stuff out of, like a game. And he uses those powers to help him basically rescue Miss Girlfriend, who keeps getting captured. The first kind of capture was with like a biker gang sort of thing, and the leader of them was just really infatuated with her and just, wanted to do things. Just douchebags, really. The second, I guess, mini arc you could say is about a guy who is a company head, or maybe the son of a company head. I can't remember exactly which one, but he kidnaps Miss Girlfriend and takes them to this abandoned warehouse where Mr. Boyfriend has to fight a bunch of other superpowered individuals to try and get her back. He gets up to the top. He's about to save her. Spoilers, by the way. He gets up there to save her, and Mr. Protector ends up taking her away. Where? We don't know. That's what we're still waiting on. So now Mr. Boyfriend has to try and gather information with a bunch of behind the scenes, other super powered people to try and figure out where she is, get the information for all that. I don't know if this is going to be longer than one season. It might just be one season, but It's really fun, and it's beautifully animated as well. Like I said with Windbreaker, it's got like the same thing, beautifully animated, fluid fights, and good choreography as well. Just another reason why this anime is awesome. And one more little icing on the cake is the episodes are only 18 minutes long in total. Like normal anime episodes are about 22 to 24. These are about 18 minutes total. And after the opening and the part at the end that you can skip and the bit of the recap, it's about 15 minutes really. Which means in 1 hour, the time it would take you to watch about maybe 3 episodes of anime, you could watch about 4 of this, which I know only really matters when you're binging and when it's like not an old anime that was ongoing and running. Doesn't really matter, but still, I think it's really nice. I'm very thankful that it respects my time and it's not like American media where any live action show is now 45 minutes to an hour, wasting my fucking time with that. The next anime we have up here is another Chinese anime. They doubled down on those tariffs. To Be Hero X. This is a bit of an anthology series talking about the top 10 heroes within this society, and at least how they got to be in the top 10. Real quick, before I dive into a bit of the characters we've already seen, I want to talk about the power system because it's very interesting. So how it works is that everybody is born with a trust value, or everybody is born with the ability to gain trust value. And how you gain trust value is, put the thinking caps on, if people trust you. If people trust you, they have accountability in you, they look up to you, all that kind of stuff. And the higher your trust value, the stronger you get, and the more likely you can get powers and what power you get. Yes, this is all kind of based around how the public kind of decides on who you are. And I think that's kind of part of what this whole anime is how groupthink, how the public really gets to decide what a celebrity is, and the celebrity doesn't exactly get to define themselves in the way they would want to. One example I can think of is a hero called Firm Man. Firm Man. He is a firm man. He was in the top 10 before Nice, who is the character we are following at that time, and his whole power is he is standing firm. That's it. I swear I'm just bad at explaining. It's a lot kind of cooler. It's not as cool as it sounds. He could stand firm. He stands tall in the face of danger, essentially. But what that did to him is it locked his knees. He could not bend his knees. At least I believe that's what it was. It also probably part of his costume because his fucking boots went from his feet all the way up to like his thighs. So he couldn't bend his fucking knees. There was no joints in there to help him out either. Like he couldn't even lay down to sleep. He had like a concrete fucking slab that he would just kind of lay against. Like, that's kind of sad. And there's another part in there where Nice, the character that we are following at that point, where he is trying to go save his pretend girlfriend. I'll explain what pretend means. But his pretend girlfriend, and everybody is saying, no, no, stop. We don't want you to do that. And it is quite literally holding him back. Everybody's saying, we do not want you to go save her. Again, I will explain. Is keeping him from going. He has to quite physically like strip himself of his hero title to actually go do that. So a little bit of explanation in all of this. The first 4 episodes are following the hero Nice, the top 10 hero. Again, this is before he made it into the top 10 and number 10, where initially he was just a guy at an ad agency who was just getting fired because of what his boss thought was a shitty proposal. I thought it was great. His boss is fucking knob. And he was going up to the roof to seemingly probably kill himself and jump off when all of a sudden Nice shows up. Yeah, you confused? So Nice was already a hero before, you know, this ad agency guy actually became Nice. There was already a Nice, but he floated down, he strutted up, gave the guy some finger bangs, and jumped off. He killed himself. And then Nice's manager shows up thinking that this ad agency guy just killed Nice, which for a quick second, that's fucking stupid because one of Nice's powers is that he can fly. So even if the ad agency guy surprisingly pushed him over, he can fly, and it's not like they're only 3 stories up from the ground. They're kind of high up. He's got plenty of time to do that. So the way they get into this, kind of stupid, but I forego that. But essentially she sees, oh, hey, this guy kind of looks like Nice, the ad agency guy. You kind of look like Nice. Give you some white hair, do your hair a little differently. You could be Nice. And that's exactly what the fuck they do. They quite literally turn this guy into a hero. They give him the makeover, they give him the training, they give him the PR training too, and he essentially turns into Nice. Everybody thinks that he's Nice, so his trust value goes up, and like I said before, Everybody thinks that he's nice, so he will have the same power set as nice. He's dating another hero called Moon, or I believe she's like an idol or something. Her name is Moon, but they are doing it fake. They are not doing it for real. They're just doing it for the cameras and for the trust value and to prop that up. Same way as some celebrities just date so that they can get in the tabloids. But before this guy became nice, he was actually really infatuated with her. Like, he actually, like, kind of liked her. So she doesn't really like him like that. He kind of does like her like that, but he's obviously not trying to be creepy about it. I'm not explaining that very well. I'm sorry. But essentially, they fake her death for reasons you can watch in the show. I don't want to spoil all that too much. And then a fake copy of her is pulled out, and one guy is like parading her around like, see, she's actually alive. Now, of course, Nice doesn't realize that this is a copy, so he thinks that's the actual Moon up there. And that's why he is trying to go save her, because sure, it may have been a fake relationship, but he still kind of likes her. So he's going to try and do that. All the fans are stopping him like, no, we don't want you to go. You're going to die if you do that. So that's kind of all of that. And right now we are on the number 9 hero with Isol, and I won't explain any of that. I'll let you guys watch that. But it's really interesting. It is a really cool series. If you couldn't tell, I'm pretty sure this is the anime I'm going to talk about the longest for. Oh yeah, and one more thing before I leave with 2B Hero X. One more thing here. They switch animation, like during fights. Oh my god. One of, I would say, the best parts of 2B Hero X, and one of the coolest parts, is how they go from 3D arcane style like animation, and during like fights and sometimes flashbacks and some other stuff, they'll switch it into 2D animation that looks similar to like Scissor 7. Dude, that's so fucking hype. That's so fucking hype. And from some of the hero trailers they showed us before the actual anime came out, it looks like the number 1 hero, called X, actually has that power. It looks like he quite literally has the power to just snap and change the entire world from 3D to 2D. Holy shit, dude. It is so cool and so exciting. I cannot wait for more episodes to come out. Apparently he's only going to have 1 episode though, and that kind of pisses me off, because we need more of that shit. The next anime we have up here is Lazarus. Oh, Lazarus. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, let me put your name on the chalkboard. Let me put your name on the chalkboard. Thank you.
Did you like what you saw? Was it very tantalizing? The OnlyFans is coming soon.
I'm fucking kidding. I'm kidding. But back to the topic at hand. For this website, Lazarus, it is actually a really cool anime. I really like it. Shocker, all the ones I'm watching I actually kind of like. So the general plot of this is a doctor called Dr. Skinner created a drug called Hobna that pretty much everybody has been using around the world. But what's found out is that this drug will actually kill you after a certain amount of time. I can't remember exactly how much. Go watch the anime. And they are on a ticking clock. If I remember correctly, it's about 3 months before they are about to die. So this one lady, who I assume is a government official, creates a kind of suicide squad, and basically has a bunch of different people from different specialties come in so that they can try and find Dr. Skinner, as he has an antidote on him. So they find him, they get the antidote, and they can try and mass produce it. And what's awesome is this is made by the same guy who made Cowboy Bebop and Space Dandy. Like, really cool. That's why the main character kind of looks like a Spike ripoff, but I'm not complaining about that. And this is very heavily influenced by America, because, by the way, this is set in America. USA, USA, USA. But it also has a lot of parkour elements in it as well. Like, the main guy is like a master parkourer, I guess you could say. But from what I remember reading, they talked to actual like professional parkour people, I guess you could say, and had them like help them with learning how to animate different moves and how it would look. And it makes, again, fight scenes very fluid, very beautiful, and the choreography, again, with a lot of that, beautiful as well. Just a really cool anime. The next anime I have up here is very near and dear to my heart. Very near and dear. I'm not going to bring out the entire thing because I don't want to do that right now. My Hero Academia Vigilanties, baby. This is very near and dear to my heart. This is the very first manga I ever bought. This is the first volume of manga I ever bought right here. This is the first series I've ever fully like collected physically. This holds a very near and dear place to my heart. I am so excited that this got an anime, because it is amazing. And if you're already a fan of My Hero, watch Vigilantes. You will love it as well. So if you couldn't tell, this is set in the My Hero universe. It doesn't say exactly how much before, but we were able to see Tenya Ida in there as a kid in like a semi-flashback. So it's believed we're maybe like 5 or 6 years before the events of My Hero and Deku getting into UA. That's a bit of my own headcanon, I'll be honest, but it kind of makes sense. But the story follows this man called Himawari Koichi. By day, he's a regular college student. By evening, he's a convenience store worker. But by night, he dons his All Might hoodie. Yes, very original. And then he becomes Nice Guy. Or as they say it later in the series, the Crawler. Or the Crawler. Or the Creeper. Or the Creeper. Nobody can get his name right. But yes, at night, he does put on an All Might hoodie. I know, very original. And he goes around essentially just being a nice guy. He helps people with directions. He helps take out trash and like clean up littering and stuff. He helps drunk people get home or at least to a bus stop. He's just helping out his community. He's a very friendly neighborhood nice guy. But it all changes one day when a pop-up idol called Popstep. Yes, I know she is technically in middle school. Yes, I know. I fucking know. We're overlooking that right now because it is still a good series. Please shut the fuck up. Yes, it is a problem. We can talk about that, but not right now because I'm gushing about the series. But he meets this idol, Popstep, who is getting assaulted and nearly raped. Yes, the middle schooler's almost getting raped. I know. Just please. And he doesn't try to save her. I know. Just please stick with me. Where the All Might character of this show comes out of nowhere. Master, aka Knuckle Duster, aka the old guy, who is seemingly quirkless and comes down, beats up the hoodlums, and is on his way to try and find a drug called Trigger. Trigger. With a T. Trigger. This drug, when taken, can essentially amplify anybody's quirk so that it is like, 10, 100 times stronger than it normally would be. And this is mostly bad because this is just being given out to random people on the streets where it makes them super aggressive and makes what they call pop-up villains. So this old guy is going around checking people's tongues because when you take Trigger, it makes your tongue black. So he's going around checking tongues of everybody, and Koichi and Popstep end up helping him, as if he was on his own, he would just beat the shit out of everybody he saw. Now these three team up and they essentially become Vigilantes. They do not have hero licenses. They are not sanctioned by the government or they are not sanctioned by the police. They are doing it all on their own, hence the name Vigilantes. And the rest of the series is essentially them trying to find out who is distributing this trigger, where is it coming from, who's making it, who's the big bad, which there is a big bad. And it is awesome. It's definitely a lot more ground level than My Hero is, where that's kind of getting a lot bigger, especially with the war arc going on right now. But this one's a lot more street ground level. It's a lot more grounded. It's nice. And like I said before, this is connected directly to the My Hero universe. I mentioned earlier we got to see Tenya Ida, but we got to see his older brother. We get to see Aizawa. We get to see Fat Gum later. We get to see All Might. We get to see the detective that I'm forgetting his name. I'm so sorry. Tsukauchi. We also get to see the cat police officer. We get to see Deku's mom. I'm not kidding about that. We get to see Mirko while she's still in high school. We get to see Midnight. She's back. We get to see, I'm pretty sure, Vocal Guy comes back. And this is going to be a bit of a spoiler because this probably isn't even going to happen in season 1 of the anime. So big spoiler. We actually get to hear more about Aizawa and Loud Guy. We get to hear about their time with Shirakumo, and they actually delve into all of that a lot more, which is awesome. Like, that is one part of My Hero, one of many parts that they kind of threw to the side. They introduced it and then didn't really build on it as much as I would have liked them to. But this anime actually gets to do that. And I'm so happy that they get to do that. They do that for a lot of other heroes too. Mirko, they do that as well, where they kind of like take some of these newbies or they take some of these heroes and they give a little bit more backstory. We get to see a little bit more about them while also having a whole brand new story with new characters as well. I love it. So like I said, if you like My Hero and you can get over the fact that Popstep is 15, 14, whatever the fuck, and she's in middle school at the beginning of the series. I know it's weird, but there's time skips. There's about 3 years before the end of the series. It starts at one point and then like 3 or 4 years later is when the series ends. She grows up. She goes to high school. I know it's fucking weird. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm so sorry. If you can look past it, it is a great series. Next up here, we kind of get into some of the anime that I'm watching that I do like, but they're not like that. Oh my god, yes, let's go. They're kind of like, I like these. I'm rocking with these. And the first one up on here is the first romance, finally. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? Parentheses, no it can't. Essentially what this is about a guy, unnamed anime character 75, who has a bit of a flower shop accessory making that he does. He takes flowers, does a little crystallization thing, I don't know how he does it, and he makes accessories out of them. And he's been doing this since middle school, where he meets this blue-haired girl called Hina, who is very overly touchy. She's like that very extroverted character, kind of clings all over him, literally. And they become best friends, and then they go into high school. The business is still going pretty strong. He's doing pretty well. He's actually like pretty popular, especially because Hina became a model and actually was showing off a lot of the accessories that he would make. And from there, romance ensues. She kind of lets loose that she likes the guy, and she just doesn't want to say anything. And she's kind of a tsundere with that, where instead of getting angry at him, she just gets like overly friendly with him and like dismissive of all that. And he's kind of like, I just want to be friends here. I just want to be friends. Like, she's really pretty, she's really cute, but we're friends, we can't date, until he realizes that he likes her and he wants to date. But then another girl ends up coming in who was actually not a childhood friend, but a childhood romance of the guys, where she comes in and is kind of not exactly screwing with anything. It's not really her fault, but she's, you know, coming into the picture. Her name is Enomoto, if I remember correctly. Rin Enomoto, I think it is. So she comes in trying to be friends with everybody. She becomes and tries to be one of Yu's models. That's his name, Yu. He tries to be the guy. His name is Yu, one of his models, and that started some drama because Hina was the only model he had, and now Enomoto is in here, and he's thinking about giving her some of the accessories first. She gets jealous, yada, yada, yada. Drama ensues. It's all kind of, you know, high school bullshit, but it's a romance. I'm fucking here for it. Our next enemy up here, another romance with romance in the title. Kowloon generic romance. This is interesting. The only reason I don't have this in my like, oh my god, I love this, is because it is a mystery. And while I do like mysteries, I'm still confused. As I should be with a mystery, I'm confused about a lot of things with this series, and that's the only reason I don't really have it as that, oh yes, is because I'm confused about the story, which again, I know it's a mystery. I'm supposed to feel like that. Sue me. But this is a mystery slash romance where we are in the town of Kowloon. I do believe this is a Japanese anime, but it is like the characters are all based in China. I think that's how it works. And essentially you have the main character Kujirai, who is a retail sale. So you have the main character the woman Kujirai, I don't know what the fuck that was. But she is a real estate broker. She's in real estate, and she is in a very small real estate building along with a guy that I can't remember the name of. Both of them are working in Kowloon, and at least at the beginning, it kind of is all talking about, hey, this is Kowloon. We're all kind of like a big family. We all got like culture and stuff here, and it's just talking about the culture of Kowloon and all of that stuff. And they're doing this because Kujirai is seemingly new to Kowloon. So she doesn't really know anything about the area. She doesn't know all these cool restaurants. She doesn't know about like the culture and some of the stuff there. But as episodes go on, come to find out, she might actually have been in Kowloon and she lost all of her memories, possibly. That's my headcanon right now. I haven't read the manga. I haven't read a light novel if that's the source, and I don't want it spoiled, so don't fucking try it. This is one I don't want spoiled for me. But it seems like she might have lost her memories, and she actually has lived in Kowloon and was actually married to the guy. In fact, everything the guy knows about Kowloon is from Kujirai, because she showed him around, did all the same stuff that the guy is doing with Kujirai now. And then there's this like plastic surgeon guy who's gay. That's not a guess, he's just factually gay. And it seems like he's supposed to be kind of the villain, and he might have been the one to steal Kujirai's memories. There's no actual like powers in this as far as I'm aware, but there is this futuristic thing that floats above Kowloon, or above the world, that I can't remember the name of. Editing me, throw up the name of it if you can remember it. But again, some of the headcanons I have is maybe they used that to kind of steal people's memories, something along that. There is one part in one of the most recent episodes about how they had one guy who was living in Kowloon, and then they had the same guy outside of Kowloon, I guess like a clone or a double or something, who then walked into Kowloon, and then the guy who was originally in Kowloon, who was the same guy, disappeared. I'm very confused about how that works. So like I said, I don't know if this is maybe something where people are losing their memories, if there's clones and maybe the little generic terrace, whatever fuck, that's floating above Kowloon is kind of like an illusion cloaking thing maybe. Again, a lot of mystery. I need to catch up on some of these episodes and maybe it'll explain more. The editing fuck after watching the most recent episode. Yeah, they just kind of blatantly explain a good bit of this. Not everything, but they quite literally just start exposition dumping out of nowhere near the end of the episode. We also find out that the plastic surgeon guy is gay, but he's also intersex. He's got a dick and a pussy. That just wasn't really expecting that. He also apparently can't have kids. I don't know why I'm focusing on this. But yeah, they start kind of explaining a lot more about like what the generic Terra is and Kowloon and everything around it, what like people like losing memories or like people not being exactly the same. They really start to delve into this a lot more. And we're only about halfway through the season, so I'm excited for more. I'm excited to get into some of the more meat in that bone. But I'm very, very interested. I like the romance, I like the mystery, and also Kujirai is hot as fuck, and I can say that because she's 32. Moving on to the next romance that I will not be talking about the female MC in any of that way because I do not feel any of that way anyway, and I'm being serious about that. The anime Witch Watch. This is about two people who were childhood friends. We got a guy who is an ogre. Yes, he is an ogre. They lost their horns and look like humans. And the girl who is a witch. When she was young, she ended up going and moving over to like a witch academy sort of thing, or like back to the land of the witches so that she could train there. So the witch is now coming back from Witchland and is coming back to their hometown so that she can get a little bit of outside training, you know, learn how to use her witch powers more for the good of people. But there's also an ulterior motive here because her mother actually asks the guy here, the ogre, to protect her, become her familiar, because the mother is like a fortune teller, oracle sort of witch, and she has seen that this young teenage witch is probably going to die. So she has ogre guy try and protect her from anything that could possibly happen. And from there, it's a bit of a slice of life and a comedy. I wouldn't say it's like hilarious ha-ha comedy in my opinion. It's got some decent jokes, but it is kind of that anime comedy where it's like over the top, oh, this wacky thing is happening, that's the comedy. It is funny though, they do actually mention other manga and anime and stuff. Like they mention Hunter x Hunter. Like at one point she tries to use a like growing spell to enlarge the eraser on this guy's pencil, but she missed and hit the little hair tuft spike on his head, and that ended up growing, and the teacher is just like, is that fucking Gon Freeze in the back? That honestly got me. When I saw that got me. Because I was thinking the exact same thing. But it is nice. It is a bit of a dumb, fun comedy. The romance isn't really there. It's just a romance in the girl which really likes the ogre guy. But the ogre guy is, you know, one of those super dense characters. And they're also living together because, you know, they got to protect each other. Shut up. Anyway, decent watch. Decent watch. I think it's cool. Sorry, I just got a text. I got 2 more shifts at my job. I'm very happy now. So the next anime I have here is From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. This is kind of one of those action, but also kind of slice of life, fantasy world anime, which if you saw that anime like a season or 2 ago about the guy who is like mid-30s or whatever and has like the greatest sword skills, but he's like super humble and stuff. It's kind of like that with this series as well. Although instead of the guy being an adventurer or anything like that, he is just a sword teacher, a swordsman. He just teaches people how to use the sword. So he is originally in this like little backwater village and ends up being taken in by one of his previous students who is now the commander of like the nation's army, and taken out of the backwater to the royal capital, and is essentially helping to teach the army his way of sword skills. Because for as humble as he wants to be, a lot of his students have gone on to be very notable people out in the world. Some of them have been like great sword masters, again, the commander in the army. Some of them have even gone on to be mages and been some like really accomplished mages. One of them became a blacksmith and being able to forge swords, and one of the best blacksmiths in the country. So that's kind of where the slice of life comes in, meeting some of his old, you know, students, seeing what they're going on with. But then it comes into action as we see some stuff going on. He actually does have to go out and use some of his sword skills as the commander there, as well as the head of the mage corps, kind of task him to do some things every once in a while. But it's a chill anime. It's a nice one. And finally, the last anime in the ones that I am currently watching. It was that one that I was talking about earlier. at the very beginning of the video. Do you remember that? Starting off with the ones that I am watching, all of them bangers except for one. All of them bangers except for one. And I am so very excited for all of them except for one. The Beginning After the End, aka T-Bait, the one-frame warrior, as you would say. The beginning after the end, more like the end before the beginning. Oh, Christ. This is an anime that I have actually been reading the manhwa of for years now. I have been reading this since maybe high school. I can't remember. It was like right between high school and college. It was somewhere around there. But I've been reading this series for a few years now. And seeing the way that it has been done, oh my god, it's horrendous. Especially the first few episodes. I will admit it is getting slightly better, but not enough and not what it should be. So the general plot of T-Bait is, this is an isekai, where you have the main character, Arthur, that is his new name coming into the world, kind of like Mushoku Tensei, for the way that they do a lot of world building, for the action that they have, and a lot of that stuff. And besides everything with Rudius that I will have an argument about every day, they are very similar. Where they definitely differ is the main character is not fucking weird about it, but in their previous life, while Mushoku Tensei's Rudius was just a fat bastard asshole, Arthur was actually the king of his empire, which was sort of like a more like a modernized and actually no, a more futuristic civilization. And then he gets isekai'd into a fantasy world now with magic, and it is kind of him growing up again, kind of like Mushoku Tensei and how that started. He starts as a kid, he's slowly growing up and already building up his mana from a young age until his parents decide, hey, he's really gifted at magic. We're kind of out in the bumfuck nowhere. Why don't we move to the city, get him some tutors so that he can become even better? And on the way, they get ambushed, and Arthur ends up getting thrown off the carriage and into the woods. And then he was taken in by a dragon called Sylphie, who ended up helping him out and keeping him safe. She then transports him out back into the world now that he's a little bit all better, and he comes across this another band of bandits who are trafficking this elf girl. He ends up saving the elf girl, and they end up taking a big journey all the way to Elven territory, and that's kind of where we're at in the story right now. I am omitting a lot of details because the story is good. The story is good. But the problem with the anime is the animation. It is the animation. This is a story that should be getting Mushoku Tensei levels of animation. I would say One Piece levels of animation. Like, it deserves that. But holy fuck, we got worse than generic isekai animation. The first 3 episodes, it was still frame after still frame after still frame after still frame with a little bit of After Effects, you know, when like they're powering up their fist or something, so they have a little After Effects glow on it. Yeah, that's there. And still frame after still frame after still frame after still frame. Quite literally until episode 4, I don't think there was any actual like animation movement from anybody, with the exception of moving the mouths for talking. It was it's so sad. It was so fucking sad. And what is giving some people hope is that it was shown that those few first episodes were actually outsourced to a different company, like completely outsourced. Those were not done in-house by what is it, A1 Studios. So that's why I said these recent episodes have actually been getting some animation. There's actually movement here, but unfortunately we are still seeing a lot of still frames. We are still seeing a lot of After Effects glows. There was no animation in the manhwa, and there was also no animation in the anime. Like I don't know what to tell you. This is sad. It's sad, and we are halfway through the season right now. All I can fucking hope is that season 2 and onward get either moved to a different studio or A1 Studios, whoever they're fucking with right now, steps the fuck up, dude. Because it deserves so much better. It deserves so much better. All right, enough ranting about that. Let's move on. We only have a few more left here. The continuing anime, ones that I have started before and am continuing on. I only have one in here, and that's One Piece. Did you really think it wasn't going to be in here? I did actually end up dropping the One Piece Fishman Island remake, mainly because I've already seen Fishman Island, and respectfully, I kind of don't want to rewatch Fishman Island anymore. I don't even think it's like a bad arc. It's just like, well, One Piece is back now. I've got a bunch of other anime. Do I really want to waste like some time I could watch some of these other anime on an arc I already watched just a little bit faster. So unfortunately, I did drop that. But One Piece is finally back, came back around the start of April, and we are back in Egghead. We are fighting Kizaru. We're fighting Saturn. He just came up in the latest episode. Oh, I'm so excited. We're so back. One Piece is fucking here, baby. Not really much else to say there. It's One Piece. What else do you need me to tell you? Moving on to the next section, anime that I'm currently catching up on. They're currently releasing, but I haven't caught up on them yet. The first one here is the Apothecary Diaries Season 2, and for any smart individuals who have seen my videos before, in the last one when I did Anime Winter 2025, I talked about wanting to actually get into Apothecary Diaries, and I did. I've watched the entire first season, and I am currently still catching up on the second one. I'm just kind of watching through dubbed, and then once I get caught up, I'll watch through subbed, but still working on that. And it is very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot more mystery-oriented than I thought it was going to be. Like, a lot of the episodes here feel episodic, and it quite literally just goes to Mao, here's a riddle, solve the riddle. It really felt like that when they had like the three brothers, like the craftsman father died, he gave all these items to the brothers. Like, that was a real like, here's a riddle, solve the riddle. But I am still having fun with it. I think it is very funny about Jinshi and Mao and Jinshi trying to romance Mao and it just not fucking working at all. Mao just being unfucking hinged whenever it comes to poison. I love that. It's so funny. So I will definitely be catching up with this. I will probably be watching most of these episodes very soon. Next up here is Sword of the Demon Hunter Kijin Gentōshō. I think that's how you say that last part. This is actually a new anime, but I have only seen the first episode, and that is because the first episode is kind of similar to how Oshinoko did their first episode in season 1, where this one is like an hour long. They basically get the entire origin story done in the first episode, which I'm not mad at all. I think it's awesome. I haven't gotten back into it, unfortunately, but it is one I am catching up to. Essentially, it's Demon Slayer, but with Tanjiro sword skills and Nezuko demons into one person. I'm not mad at it. It's awesome. You've got a swordsman who is going after these demons because one that he raised as like a little sister, essentially, who was a demon. She flipped out because of some things that happened in the first episode. Before, like, while she was going to kill her and do all this other stuff, he was fighting another demon who ended up chopping off one of his arms. He passed out. He woke up. That demon was no longer there, and he had his arm back. Guess what? He's a demon now. So he went back, saw that this little sister character transformed and killed the woman that he loved. So now it's a revenge story throughout the rest of this. Although it's not kind of like a rage-filled revenge story. It's more of just I'm kind of going along and I'm just going with the flow until I can find something. At least that's what it seems like from the first episode and like the few clips I've seen on TikTok. But I'm excited to keep going. I'm excited to see more. I think, like I said, we're around episode 6, so I got a few episodes to catch up on, but you know what? That's what tonight is for. That's what everything after this video is for. All right, the next section here is the plan to watch. I got 3 anime in here. The first one here is Shirly. The editing fuck coming in here because past me did not say anything fucking correct about this part. To be fair, I had no idea about anything about Shirly, and I think I heard it once during a Mother's Basement video from like 2 months ago, and I was like, okay, this is where my knowledge is going to come from. So I took a minute and I actually did some research to like figure out what this was, so I'm not spouting dumb shit. We're deleting all that. But Shirly is based around an old novel that was out like over 100 years ago, I think now, called Anne and the Green Gables. And it is basically a slice of life, coming of age story, seeing Shirly, the redheaded girl that you can see, going from 11 to 17, being an orphan and going around, I believe it's to Prince Edward Island. Yes, going to Prince Edward Island and interacting with different people, and we kind of see her story. Now, this is all just information that I'm finding off Reddit and the Wikipedia and the show description. So I'm already kind of interested in it. It's definitely something I want to watch. It also looks like it's going to be about 24 episodes, so it will be going into summer 2025. So I got plenty of time to get caught up and start this series, which I do plan on doing very soon. Next up, the next anime I have here is Moonrise, and I'm going to be very honest, I don't know anything about this anime. The only thing I saw was, like one clip on TikTok of a pretty cool fight scene and some flashy colors, and then I looked at the art here, and it also had some flashy colors, and I believe this is also another Chinese animated one. So I'm just like, fuck it. Flashy colors, cool fight scene, throw it on, I'll check it out. And finally, here in the plan to watch section, I have Yaiba Samurai Legend. This is what I want to watch because from what I've been told, this is a remake of the original Yaiba anime. I've been told Yaiba is kind of like a Ranma sort of deal, where it's like this martial artist, adventurous kid who goes into the city and is moving in with this other martial arts, dojo, and I believe there's some romance with another one of the girls there. So very Ranma-esque from what I've been told. But it's a remake of what seems to be a very beloved show, so I thought, hey, you know what? Why not? Perfect time to get into it. I'll probably watch it once I get through a lot of the other anime that I need to catch up on, but it is definitely on my list. And the last section here. The last section. What have I dropped this season? There are only 2 anime on here that I've dropped, and for very good reason. The first one on here, Shiunji Family Children. First up here, the Shiunji Family Children. Now, why did I drop this? Good reasons. Essentially, the plot that I can remember from the first episode is this group of 7 kids who are all living with this rich guy, who they assume is their dad, their biological dad. And when the youngest child ended up turning 16, the father at dinner said, hey, by the way, you're all adopted. With the exception of the only other guy child in the family and the athletic girl, everybody else is non-related. So the story revolves around the eldest brother and kind of figuring out romance with all of his stepchildren. Or not his stepchildren, his step-siblings, my apologies. But it gets kind of weird because yes, they are step-siblings. Yes, this is straight out of a Bang Bros ad, but they've all grown up with each other since they were like little kids. This isn't exactly like a Bang Bros ad where, oh, our parents just got married, let's go to the bedroom and go badoink. No, they've grown up with each other since they were in like early elementary school. Some of them were quite literally babies. So it gets really weird because it's like, yes, step siblings, but you've grown up with each other for so long that you're not like childhood friends or anything. You are family. So it gets really weird. The editing fuck back once again to give you one more point as to why this anime kind of sucks. It has a the youngest sister has an older brother complex, but like the I love you complex. Not like, oh, I just really like my older brother. No, like I love you complex. And they set that up before they even got like told they were step siblings, before they were told they were not related. In fact, once they were told that they were not actually related, it enabled her to be like, okay, we're not siblings, my love is now valid. Like, oh my fucking god, oh my god, oh my god, Jesus Christ, get me out of here, please. And then the second anime on here, for an equally weird reason. Please put them on Takamine-san. We're going to hide that art right now. You already got a glimpse of it. It's gone. It's gone. I feel like if I keep it up on the screen, I will get age restricted on this video. And this is one of those videos that should not need to be age restricted. This is about an anime of a guy who is being forced by the student council president and forgotten childhood friend, where she has the power to take off her underwear and rewind time. And at one point, she went to take off her underwear in like a gym closet that he also happened to be, and he saw her tits. And apparently how the power works is if somebody sees your tits, oh, well, now they're not affected by the time loop. So now, I guess to kind of fuck with him and to keep him shut up, she is forcing him to be her closet. What does a closet mean? Every time she uses her power, he has to put the underwear back on her. What the fuck? The only reason I watched the first episode of this is because I heard about it online and I'm like, you know what? For shits and giggles, what's the first episode gonna be like? What's going to happen? And then I watched the first episode. And you know what I said? Sure, you got tits out. All right, I can skip past that. I've seen High School DxD. I've seen worse. And then there comes to the point where they're in the student council room. Which, spoilers, by the way, but I don't think you really give a fuck. Where she uses her power, she unclips her bra, uses her power, rewinds time. She then unbuttons her shirt, so it is quite literally hanging out without nips showing. She pins him to the ground and says, become my closet or else. And he said, no, I'm not. Like a sane human being, he said, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. That's weird. I'm not doing that. Like an actually, like, realistic human being MC. And you know what she does next? She stands up. Sorry, that wasn't loud enough. All of the students come in. By the way, student council president in an anime, she's basically the god of the school. So everybody likes the student council president. And they're just like, were you forcing yourself on the student council president? What the fuck? And she's like, yes, he was forcing himself on me. They hold him back. They say, oh, dude, you're fucked. Oh, you're fucked. Police show up somehow, like within 5 seconds. Police show up and they're just like, did he do anything? I don't know. Did he do anything? I'm not gonna be your closet. Okay, take him away. And then he's like, fine, fine, I'll do it. She uses her power, resets it, and now he's her closet. I stopped watching right at that moment. I stopped watching at that moment because what the fuck? First of all, if I was in high school, this would have been hot as shit. I'm not in high school anymore. I am a sexually active. I'm 20 years old. We're not watching anime like that. Shut the fuck up about Dandadan. Shut the fuck up about My Hero Vigilantes. Those are different. They're not actively taking off their panties so that they can force a guy to be their closet to put the panties back on. Yeah. I'm not doing that. So you know what? I checked out like the first, 3/4 of the episode for shits and giggles. I called it quits. And dear fucking God, I hope anybody over the age of 18 does the same. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the video. That is all the anime that I am currently watching or ones that I never want to see with my fucking eyeballs ever again. And I am excited to see more. Not of those last two, but of the other ones. I'm very excited to see more. I'm excited for these series to continue. I'm excited for new seasons of them, hopefully in the future. I'm probably going to read the manga for a lot of these once these seasons are over, if I'm not already. And I'm very excited for summer 2025. Dandadan is coming back. Kaiju number 8, dude. I'm so fucking ready. So when that comes around and we're a few episodes in, I will be making another video of that. So probably in like 2 months time. But until then, please, please, please check me out on all my other stuff here on the main channel. Subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want. Please go check me out on my VOD channel, my Twitch, my TikTok, and my Kick account. I have some more videos coming here to the main channel soon. Another one talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, I'm milking it at this point, but I want to talk about it. And some other ones, so I got some videos. And as long as I don't have fuck-ups like this, where I have to redo this video 8 fucking times, I can get those to you in a timely manner. And I did mention my streaming platforms. Please come check me out tomorrow when I'm recording this. I don't know if this will be out by Thursday. Probably not. We will be streaming and playing Doom the Dark Ages. Even if you don't catch me on day one, you can come check me out. We'll probably be playing into next week, I would assume. So come check me out, have some fun with me there. And if you don't catch me doing Doom the Dark Ages, we will be playing God of War. I didn't get to finish God of War 2 because it kept fucking crashing on me. So we're continuing with that. And a bunch of other games that are coming out this summer. Death Stranding 2, the Nintendo Switch 2, and all of that stuff. When that comes out, I got my pre-order June 4th, June 5th. I would come check me out. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video or on stream. I love you guys. Peace out. Goodbye.
Really think they is, they the fucking worst. I think I've been so many times,